welcome back to another episode of I Am That Bitch. And today I'm going to talk about my journey to winning Speaker Slam. So a lot of people have asked me, how'd you even hear about them? What did you do? So I'm going to tell you from the beginning. I started putting myself out there for Ladies Who Dine. I wanted to grow in different areas. So I went to a networking event up in Georgina. I think it was Georgina. And one of the co-founders, Rena, was sitting there. We're going to have her on the podcast because her story is exceptional. I can't wait, but that'll be further down the line. Um, and she stands up and introduces herself, and I'm like, speaking competition, because I wanted to put myself out there to be a speaker. I speak at my own events, but I wanted to speak at other people's events. So I thought, okay, I need to connect with her after everybody, introduces themselves and the speaker there finishes speaking. But she gets up and leaves early. And I'm like, fuck. And as she's walking away, I'm like, I want to talk to you. And she'll tell you to this day that she was trying to sneak out, and I called her out on sneaking out early. But eventually we reconnected or we spoke online. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Tristan and I went down and watched one last year, and I thought, this is really cool. Like, it's an extremely professional community, the way they have everything set up, and being a part of this community, that's another thing. It's really awesome. But anyway, so time goes by. Rena comes and speaks to two of my Ladies Who Dine. Both speeches or talks that she had for the women were unbelievable. The last one was jaw dropping. I literally sat there with my mouth open in shock because of her story. The story, the saying, never judge a book by its cover. Never judge a book by its cover. The shit she's gone through. Again, we'll have her on the podcast. So Tristan and I go on the January 30th competition, and it was about reinvention. And they put people's names. You can put your name in a bucket to get picked to go on after all the speeches are done for inspirational talk. You get 2 minutes. Tristan's like, I'm going to put your name in. And I'm like, no, don't do it. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to get picked anyway because I never get picked. First name out of the bucket, Val V. I'm like, oh, shit. What do I say now? Well, I get up and I do, a quick little spiel saying, I'm a child of an immigrant parents, almost broke, not enough money for food, criminal brother, so on and so forth. And basically, I've had to reinvent myself over and over again, right? It was up to me to basically save everything. So, I get down and I'm like, people are coming up to me. They're like, oh my God, that was amazing. I related to you. One lady, even as we were leaving, ran out after me. Is like, oh my God, you need to be on stage. I was so pumped. I was so hyped that actually, before I even get to that point, let me rewind a little bit. So we're sitting at the Speaker Slam table, and Dan, the other co founder, is on stage saying, we have 2 spots left for March 28th, and it's about human connection. And I sit there at the table, and right out of my mouth, me, no filter, I go, fuck human connection. And Lindsay Matthews, another amazing speaker, award winning as well, looks at me and goes, that's your speech. And I'm like, oh my God, holy shit, she's right. That is my speech. So I go home. I'm so excited. I'm thinking on the way home, I know how I'm going to start my speech. It's going to be fuck human connection. And then throughout the speech, it gets softer, like fuck human connection. And at the end, it's like, fuck human connection. So I get out of my car, I pull into the driveway, I get out of the car. Tony's coming out with the dog. I'm like, babe, I'm going to go in. I'm signing up. I'm doing this. This is how I'm going to start it. This is how it's going to be in the middle. And this is how I'm going to end it. I have no fucking idea what's going to be in the middle, but I'm going to do it. I come in, sign up. That was a Tuesday night. And then 2 days later on Thursday morning, I wake up and I can't sleep for the life of me. 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I come downstairs, complete darkness on my laptop, and I just start writing out everything. Tony comes downstairs about 7 o'clock. I read him my speech, and he had a tear in his eye. And I'm like, okay, this is it. This is it. And I worked with Rena because who wouldn't want to work with Rena? She's amazing. And if you know me, she never changed my speech. She never changed my words. She basically took a paragraph and moved it up. And I removed some extra information out of the speech to keep it because you have a 5 minute timeline. So that was it. And she loved the part where I said, unfriend me if. And she's like, I love the name of that because that's, it really hits home. So the speech is called Unfriend Me If. And my very first line, well, I'll share it with you. Let me play it. I hope you have 5 minutes. Just hear out my speech and then I'll come back to you. So let's hit play on this. Fuck human connection. That's right. You heard me correctly. That's exactly how I felt when life dragged me through a roller coaster of betrayal, disappointment, and isolation. You selfish asshole, I'm calling the police. I froze when I heard the words. I'm standing outside a garden center with my 80-year-old mother. People around us start staring and whispering. I then lock eyes with a man on a forklift still hurling names. Where's your mask? He shouts. Oh, here we go again. I'm medically exempt, I said. He looks down and smirks. You make me sick, you selfish bitch. You see, I'm normally a really strong woman, but I could feel the heat covering my body. I couldn't breathe. I stood there sobbing in front of random strangers, hurt, angry, no, enraged. This has been happening for months. A recent visit to the specialist's office left me stunned. They discovered that I had 2 holes in my sinuses. My brain herniated in one of them, and that I needed to be operated on in order to stop my spinal fluid from pouring out of my nose. I told the doctor the fluid would pool in the mask and I couldn't breathe. He told me, take it off immediately and not to put one on at all. COVID isn't going to get you. Meningitis will, he said. He literally said that to me.
This started a very stressful journey of stares, slurs, and daily battles. In the parking lot, in the elevator, at the grocery store. Every day was war. Every morning I had to prepare myself for confrontation. I would stand in front of the doors, take a deep breath, and walk in, waiting for battle. I was labeled a murderer, selfish, even worse, the C word. People called the police on me. They didn't care that I had a life-threatening situation. I felt so alone. Nobody wanted to be around me because of fear. Fuck human connection. Unfriend me if became a social media trend. And that's exactly what I did. I unfriended myself for over 2 years because of the overwhelming negativity. The noise just was too much to bear. I needed to disconnect from everybody except my immediate family. I was mad and I couldn't take it anymore. But then something incredible happened. As I sat in my darkness, a few rays of light started to shine through. I started receiving messages from people who missed me, who were concerned about my mental health. They told me they missed my sense of humor and my outspokenness. Friends encouraged me to bring back Ladies Who Dine, a networking event they felt was one of the best ones out there. They missed the authentic connections I provided at my events. While working trade shows, women would line up just to speak to me. They appreciated my honesty and my no BS attitude. Slowly but surely, I started to regain my lost confidence. So I decided to relaunch Ladies Who Dine. My nerves were through the roof. Who'd want to come back after all this time? I mean, I was enemy number 1 for years. But that relaunch night was surreal. Over 50 amazing women filled the room. I received so many compliments from women that were happy that I relaunched. They told me they missed the real, unfiltered Val V. And I was overwhelmed by the end of the night, realizing I wasn't as hated as much as I thought. In fact, I was still loved. These women saw in me what I hadn't seen in myself for so long. They had been practicing what I've been preaching for over 10 years, the power of human connection. Yeah. So here's what I've learned. Sometimes you have to say, fuck human connection to appreciate the value. You have to endure the darkest of nights to appreciate the beauty of dawn. You have to experience betrayal to recognize the power of loyalty. The last few years have been complicated, and we have to move away from unfriending and move towards connecting. We need to talk, but more importantly, we need to listen. Human connection isn't perfect. It can be messy, painful, and challenging, but it can also be beautiful, uplifting, and most importantly, it's what makes us human. And tonight, surrounded by all of those who supported me throughout, I'm reminded of that. Fuck, human connection.
Thank you. I'm really so proud of it. Like,
Thank you,
I'm just
thank
so
you.
proud of it. At the end, let me stop this. And at the end, I had 30 people there to come out and support me, and I had them all stand when I pointed at them, because they really were my backbone throughout the 3 years or 4 years of COVID. I had tons of people that turned their backs on me, because they had a different opinion, or I had the different opinion from everybody else. No one cared that I couldn't wear a mask. No one cared. Like, it was just unbelievable. And I was just on Tonic Radio talking about this, that COVID should have been a time where us as human beings should have come together, and help one another, but we didn't. We turned our backs on one another. We got angry at one another. We called police on each other. We ratted people out. Like, it was a time that I wish I never lived through, but I obviously had to go through that to now here today. I stand before you, an award-winning speaker, and I literally did it within 2 months. And I know it takes balls. And my husband used to say, or was saying to me, like, what if you don't win? And I said, me just being on that stage alone is a win. That's it. It takes a lot of courage to get up there and show yourself and share your story, to you got a room full of what, 150, 200 people. It's crazy. I'm so proud of myself that I did it. Now I go on to the Grand Slam on November 9th. I don't know what the topic is. We find out in September. But again, this is even a bigger venue, I think. Um, I'm just excited to be on stage. That's it. Whether I win or I lose, not even lose. I don't feel like you lose. You're on stage, you're doing it. But whether I take first place or not, like I said, it's a win. But my message to you guys is just have the courage and go out and try. If you fail, don't worry about it. Just fucking get up, dust yourself off, and keep going and keep trying. Because if you don't try, you never know. Never in a million years would I sit there in front of you saying, I won Speaker Slam. I'm an award winning speaker. Who would have fucking mind blown? Anyway, thank you for tuning in to this very quick episode. Stay tuned to the next episode. I hope you're enjoying what I'm putting out so far. I hope you're enjoying me and Rula talking about growing up Greek. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for all your support, and have a good one, guys.